Hey, so what is going on, everyone? It is me, Mr. Mario, and today I'm going to be talking a little bit about reaction channels and more showing you this. Now, a lot of people have complained quite a bit about reaction channels, so I don't really want to do that because there's so many videos out there talking about it. And the main bad thing about these reaction channels are there's so many channels where essentially they just take a video and their reaction to it is them watching the video, and then when they edit it, they just put the video in a corner. But their reaction is really nothing for the most part. It's mostly them just sitting there and watching it. That's about it. They're not really providing a critique. They're not really, adding anything extra to the video itself. And because of that, because they're playing the entire video in its whole entirety and not just, kind of reviewing it or skipping through certain parts or anything like that, it decreases the chance of people watching the original video on the original channel and therefore supporting the original content creators when, in short, they can watch kind of a dumbed down version of it that somehow falls under this type of fair use, even though it's really nothing that's added to the table. Now, one thing I have found funny is some of these channels have said that this is hard to do, that this is hard work, anything like that, and I've made a video a while ago addressing if YouTube is hard, anything like that. In short, I've mostly said it really isn't. Now, there are some things that might be a little bit difficult, a little bit annoying, anything like that, but it's kind of one of those things, if you're complaining about the work you're doing being hard, it's like, well, why are you doing this? Because this is pretty much optional. I mean, it really is. So with that, you hear a lot of people in any type of video creating community, whatever you are in, say, oh, well, not everyone can do this. You have to have this. You have to have this certain skill set, anything like that. And I'm going to show you all right here. I talked with Dopeswanner about it, and I got his permission, and he said, yes, this sounds interesting, but I decided to react to one of his videos. And with that, I am going to show you all that me reacting to this video in its entirety adds absolutely nothing of worthwhile content to the original video itself.
Alright guys, so here we have it, the finished companion cube. I printed it at 20% infill, which is like a pretty standard that I print most things in if I'm not going to be using them for any kind of like actual application. Like in terms of if I were to print it for like a 3D printer, I would definitely use more than that. If I were to print it for something that's going to be needing to take some force, I'd print it for more than that. But when I'm printing things that are strictly like little doodads and things like that, 20% usually gets the job done and it doesn't waste a lot of filament. So again, it turned out really good. Hopefully you guys can see it. I'll like zoom hopefully or focus in on it.
Now I'll let the rest of this play out here while I talk about it, but you can see that that's really all I'm doing. I didn't even get my good microphone or anything because I wasn't saying anything. I didn't bother to get my good camera. I just used my crappy webcam here, and I didn't bother to clean up any of the background. You see, I did this while there was family visiting and they were out for a little bit at that time, so I had to move my bike into my office over here. So I did not care at all about it, and I was sitting there mostly paying attention to me eating cereal while watching this video, which is something I would have done anyway. So literally all I did to create that reaction was sit there and eat cereal at my computer while watching this video, which is something I would have already done. The only difference was I pulled up my webcam application and hit record. Now, if you like to actually check out Dopeswanner's channel and video and everything, I'd highly recommend going down to the link in the description where I will put his original video on there so you can watch it and comment on it and everything like that. But this is also how unfair it is as well, too. That video itself took me 2 minutes of work to make. All I did was watch the video, hit the record button, not in that order, so I hit the record button first, then watch the video, then when the video is over, I hit the stop button. When I'm going to go in and edit this, I'm going to download that video, and then I'm going to just, kind of splice it into the corner there, and edit the rest of this out and then render it out. What I'm doing right now, where I am doing a overlay track afterwards and recording all this after I did the reaction and pairing it up with gameplay and everything, that is taking probably about 10 times more effort than it did for me to make that reaction. Now, is this me saying, oh, well, you're not good at YouTube unless you're putting work into it or really, sweating and all that stuff? No, absolutely not. Because there are videos like mine where I would say sometimes they take, a good amount of time to make, or they might not take that much time. There's people that put a lot less effort into their videos, and there's people that put a lot more effort into their videos. But what I'm trying to dispel here is this weird myth that some people will try and sell to you and say, oh, these videos take time, they take effort, they take energy. No, they don't, man. No, they don't. You saw right there, all I was doing was happily eating my cereal and watching that video, which is what I was going to do at the same time. All I did, the only difference that was made there, was I hit the record button on my capture software. Now, do I think something can be done to stop this? As I said, this technically falls under fair use, and fair use is already this weird rule that people know things about and don't know things about and all that, but ultimately, I think it can be stopped. Do I know how it can be stopped? Not so much. That's going to be more Google and YouTube, as they are the algorithm guys. But if anybody who has been on here long enough remembers Reply Girls, well, what they did was they gamed the search algorithm by making these type of review videos where they didn't show the actual video, but they'd watch a video and then talk mindlessly about it for about 5 or 10 minutes, whatever it was, and then they would actually reply to that video, or they would put the video's title in their title and copy all the tags and move them over to their video, so that way, anytime you looked up any big video or trending video, you would see that video, and right next to it, you would see the Reply Girl variant of that video. You don't see them anymore because it got to the point where it was completely useless. And by that, I mean YouTube ended up changing their search algorithm and what brings in, you know, all the search results and everything, and killed all those reply channels overnight. That's it. That's what they did. They end up changing that, and then the Reply Girls, I remember for about a day or two, they tried doing all this stuff, but their views were just so little that it wasn't worth it, and some of them tried to do other videos, but then they couldn't get views on there either because they weren't doing replies to trending videos, and then they just kind of stopped. But that's a whole nother topic that I can get into for another different type of video. This was just trying to prove to you all that, no, this takes absolutely no effort to do. Anyways, this is Mr. Mario, signing off. Thank you all for watching, everyone. Now, if you excuse me, I'm going to put this super hard work into cranking out this video and uploading it for you all, because when you do this YouTube stuff, when you're doing all these replies and all that stuff and all these reviews and all these, you know, video reactions, you got to put that work in, man. You got to put in that hard work. You got to work 8, 10, 12 hours a day at your craft. Okay, I'm going. I'm done. I'm done.